I'm Sam. If you're new here, I'm designing my first board game for the first time. I'm on version 23, and so it's been about 6 months since I started making my board game. And if you're keen to check out my other videos on my board game making, it's here. There's a playlist. Otherwise, let's get stuck into it. So, in terms of my goals for this game, I kind of set myself a little bit of an ambitious goal of selling 100 copies. Or maybe it's not. I'm not too sure how ambitious that is, but it's quite ambitious for me. And I want to go through the Kickstarter slash self-publishing route because I kind of want to learn how to do everything board game related to my board game. I want to teach myself all these like new skills and kind of make a little project, self-development project for myself as well as a board game project. So I'm very keen on trying to do that, like the manufacturing, just getting myself out of the comfort zone. So that's kind of the reason why I set myself this goal of doing a Kickstarter. Half of it is also because it's like a New Year's resolution of getting myself out of my comfort zone. But yeah, that's my goal for this game. In terms of my current updates, so I've been making, since it's 23, it's been around 7 versions since my last update. And there's been a lot of changes, especially the name. So it's went from Little Libraries, which is a cute, cozy, adorable name, to Shelf Control, which is a little bit more aggressive, but still quite like funny. So it's a little bit more in terms. The reason for this change is so it matches my game, like my actual gameplay a little bit more. Because the feedback I got from other game players was that Little Libraries is a cooperative, cute and cozy name that in itself was kind of going against what my game is about. So I needed to change it. And I'm really happy with the change because it just represented the game a little bit more. I also updated the theme, so I changed some of the colors. Shout out to the people who made these colors, a really great set of colors, especially for accessibility because my game needs a little bit of that. So I'm using these colors. I've also added some worms to the game. They're just a cute little mascot. So the meeples that I had in the game, they're called bookworms. So I wanted to include bookworms into the theme of the game and kind of make some little meeples out of the bookworms, so it's more themed. But in terms of manufacturing, the meeples might turn into cardboard. It really depends on the Kickstarter and how that goes. But as of right now, it's probably going to be cardboard. In terms of the actual structure of the game, I've changed it quite a bit. So the structure of the game, there's a guide now. There was a guide before, but there's a guide which stipulates what you need to do in the game in your turn. And a lot of people has commented on how accessible the guide is and how convenient it is to reference it all the time. So I think it's one of the core pieces of my game, which makes the game fun. I've also added a storage component to the game. This storage component staggers the effects of the cards a lot, and a previous complaint was that the game was a bit confusing in terms of chaining. Like one person might activate a card that allows every other person to activate their cards, which allows another person to activate their cards. So it was a lot of chaining, which was a lot of confusion throughout the game. But because of the storage effect, this has now been updated, so there's not much chaining involved, or if there is chaining, it stops at one or two people. So that's a really good addition. There was also one other element, which was the defense mechanism. So previously, there was a lot of attack cards, but not a lot of defense. So I added this component. So this is the updated shelf. And there's a component here which allows you to use all your bookworms to cancel an effect, and that has made the whole game a lot more balanced. It's a lot more fun now, and you want to figure out when to use your bookworms. And there's now no longer any opportunities to buy bookworms, so they're a little bit more rare. So you really have to strategize when to use your bookworms. I also printed out the rule book. So the rule book, I printed out the rule book and it looks like this. And it has 4 pages, I think. Mind the white pages. But it looks like a little game now, which I'm really excited about. So in terms of things I'm building outside the board game, I've introduced one of my friends to join me on my marketing journey. So we're just kind of pinpointing who our target audience is, pinpointing who we should reach out to in terms to market this board game, because Kickstarter needs a lot of community to engage with the board game prior to the Kickstarter, so people are anticipating it and willing to purchase it. It's going to be a pretty interesting journey. It'll be really helpful to actually have someone on board to help me do that. So I have a friend who was willing to do that. I've also started joining a lot of board game groups, local board game groups, just to kind of see what kind of the real life market is, because I've been playing board games with a lot of my friends and I haven't really interacted with the community as much. Like first I went to Fortress, the local board game cafe, and then I've been like the board game social, and then I've been going to other local board game groups at RSLs. So it's been really interesting to see how people play board games outside of friend groups, how they be social. Besides that, I also joined a few Discords and a few Facebook groups. So the Discord, like the Break My Game, has been really helpful in terms of fine-tuning my rules and kind of finding some of the kinks in my board game. But like Facebook groups has been interesting to see how people interact with other social groups. So that has been really nice. Yeah, so that has been my introduction into the board game community as of right now. Even as I speak today, I'm going to a board game developer group meetup, board game developer group meetup. And that's in Ultimo, so I'll be very excited to just go and see how my board game fares there. Yeah, so that is my journey as of right now. If you like this kind of content, please give me a like or subscribe, and I'll be really happy to see you in the next video. I'm really excited about the potential of my board game because it's finally at the stage where I can say it's almost done. It's like 70% there. So if you want to see the last 30%, that'd be amazing. Yeah, thanks.